Hello, hello, everyone. Thank you for tuning in. I'm your host, Miss October, and we have a very special guest with us today. He's been featured in Scratch Magazine TV's DMV 2012 Freshman Producers, production features with Simba, Big Twins Gambino, and El Camino. He's produced albums Superfly 1 and 2, The Shooter and the Driver, 8 Hours, Pure, and A Blues for Nina. He's known for meticulously blending soulful samples with true hip-hop grit. Let's welcome DMV's own Nick G.
Thank you. I'm good. I'm good. Thank you. Yeah, that was a great introduction. Yeah. Right. Yeah, for sure.
Well, welcome, Nick G. Thank you for taking the time to speak with me today.
Oh, thank you. My pleasure.
Of course. Yeah. So tell me a little bit about yourself and how you got started with music.
Okay, well, how I got started with the music was my earliest memories of music was like 7th grade, really, when I kind of started to tap in and learn my musical talents. You know, I got my first drum set at seventh grade. I started playing the drums. Then, go-go influence. So being from the DMV, go-go's a big thing here. So, playing the drums with my headphones on. And learning how to do that, and then later on I ventured off to other instruments such as the congos and the keyboard and things of that nature. And by the way, everything was I learned by ear, so I don't really know anything like music. I've read music before, but with these instruments, it's tough. It's foreign now, but it started there 7th grade, and once I got to about high school and 11th, 12th grade, playing the keyboard, I realized my keyboard had tracks on it where I can sequence and do my own thing. So I started to play around with that, and it started off with me just making grooves for the band. You know what I'm saying? Or we can play like this, we can do this. Me being the keyboardist, I had the melodies, and I set the tone a little bit. So after high school, go down to Atlanta, and I would like frequent the Guitar Center and take my floppy disk.
Old school, boy.
Yeah, Guitar Center, yeah.
You're telling your age.
Yeah. So I would be in the Guitar Center and just, on the Korg Triton, sequencing, playing beats or making beats and saving my floppy and leave, until they tell me I gotta go, So.
You getting kicked out of the Guitar Center in Atlanta?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, for sure.
Nice.
Those are my earliest memories, and how I got started with music and my love of producing.
Absolutely. So you mentioned, we are from the DMV, right?
Yeah.
And you mentioned go-go has such a strong influence here. Has that influenced your music style at all?
Not so much.
Okay.
Not so much. It just I guess taught me how to arrange music. I think that's really what I got from playing in bands. Hook, verse, bridge, type of thing, where I know certain things fall out during the hook, some things fall out during the verse, just to build up stuff. So I think just learning how to compose music is what being go-go bands taught me.
Nice.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. So yeah, that's one of the advantages of being in the band, playing live, just getting it right on the spot, So yeah.
For sure. And the thing about, like you said, being in the band, having to improvise, and then also knowing your musical talent, being able to fill in those pockets and just go with the flow, which is something very important in music in general, but definitely in go-go. So kudos to you. And especially being self-taught, that's, by ear. I can read music, but I cannot play music by ear. So that's very impressive. Yeah. So you got your first drum set, 7th grade.
Yep.
So what's that, middle school?
Yeah, middle school. Yep.
We're doing the band in high school, and now you're in the Guitar Center down in Atlanta making music.
Yeah.
So tell me about your beginnings in Atlanta and some things that you learned and just how you were able to maneuver through that scene at the time. And then tell us when this was.
This was 2002, 2003.
Okay.
Around that time.
That's Lil Jon and T.I.
Yeah. It was crunk down there, coming from this area, DMV, it wasn't a hip hop heavy area. The hip hop I got from the DMV was mostly through go-go. And being here in DMV, a lot of the influences of music was down south, which was like 8 Ball MJG, You had Scarface. It was a heavy Pac influence up here as well. But going to Atlanta, man, it was just a melting pot. Especially where I stayed. With my cousin. And he had roommates from all over the place: Detroit, Virginia Beach, things of that nature. So my hip hop journey really didn't start until 2002. And I did the knowledge then, learning about producers, going back and studying all the 5 Mike albums from the source, and just doing the knowledge and just taking a liking to certain producers, and that kind of shaped my sound or my style. Not so much like you said before in the DMV. It was more so just doing the knowledge of the hip hop, that was around me down there. But the funny thing about being in Guitar Center is where it kind of started. It was a guy there that came there to buy a bunch of equipment, and he heard my beat, heard what I was doing in the Guitar Center. And he had this production company, and he was like, "Yo, I want you to be a part of the production company," So he was like, "Come to the house. I got all this stuff." He had a studio in the house, and we would go there, and I'm working on like sound. I'm learning the MPC. He had the MPC, he had the Korg, he had a whole bunch of sound modules and things of that nature. And I'm just in there cooking free of charge. Like, just let me have the
free of charge. Whoa, that's a blessing. Whoa.
Definitely. But and he had some artists that was from Minnesota. That's crazy. But they would come down and they was rapping, and we was working on projects and things of that nature. And that was kind of like my first real like experience with recording and working with artists.
And working with art. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, sure. So would you consider this guy sort of a mentor, kind of just helping you lay the foundation of what is now your production?
Yeah, somewhat. He gave me the I guess the utensils or the equipment to kind of hone my skills.
For sure.
And like I said before, also my cousin that I lived down there with or was staying with frequently, he made movies. So he had, sound guys that had equipment over there too. So I had, my different places I could pick and choose for where I wanted to go and practice, I'm just, looking back on it, I just wish I took a little bit more advantage of these things though, and just, just worked a little bit harder, that was it.
Understand that. So let me ask you this. We're talking 2001, 2002, down in Atlanta. Like we said, this was definitely crunk time. We're doing T.I. We had Pastor Troy. That was the scene down there. So was your production at that time Southern influenced?
No, not at all.
Oh, okay. So how are you able to kind of slide out of that and just stay true to what your production style was?
Well, I like I said, I took a liking to what I was hearing is when I did the knowledge and went back and looked at the albums. I was like, Jay Dilla was a guy that
Big up Jay Dilla.
Really took a liking to, and shout out to my man Donnie. He's from Detroit, and he put me on the Slum Village.
Oh, and, yes.
I was listening to that. Then I went back and started listening to some Gangstar stuff. So Primo and and Pete Rock and those things. Just like, this. But the crazy thing about it is, I remember hearing these things as a youngin too. So my mom would play these things. Like my mom would play these type of the hip hop. The hip hop my mom would play a lot was the Tribe Called Quest, the Heavy D's, the Kwame's, Dana Dane, stuff like that. It was party time during that time. It wasn't really until like 92 where my little brother's father came into the picture, and I got the Wu-Tangs, the Nas's, the Jay-Z's and those things.
Yes.
So when I'm hearing the stuff that they're playing in the houses down in Atlanta, it's like, oh shoot, I remember this. The Boot Camp Click, Buckshot Shorty, those things. It's like, this is what I
click.
Like. Yeah, this is nostalgic to me. This puts me back in a place where I remember some of these things. So that's might be the way that I was able to escape the down south influence from like I said, it was crunk. It was crazy crunk.
Listen, I was in Atlanta down in 2001, and boy, what a time to be alive. Let me tell you. Hey.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
So you mentioned during this time, you were blessed enough to be able to meet someone at the Guitar Center.
Yeah.
He take you under his wing, so to speak, kind of show you the ropes. You had a cousin who had a lot of different influences in the house at the time too. And then you mentioned, okay, well, I wish I would have taken it a little more seriously, right?
Right.
So what was the biggest lesson looking back? What do you think the biggest lesson was during that time in Atlanta?
It was. I think the biggest lesson was work ethic.
Oh, yeah.
I did not have a work ethic that put into anything. That was the biggest lesson in life for me. Work ethic. I say I'm a jack of all trades, master of none. I play football, play basketball. I can draw, and I could play music. So I just had my hands in everything, and I never really honed in on one thing. So I didn't learn. Just starting now to get the work ethic and know exactly what I want to do in life, and I've been seeing it pay off. So that's when I say I wish that I took it more serious when I was down there, or had took advantage of a lot of that opportunities that I had, because we be further along in this.
For sure,
we'd be rich right now, mama. You know what I'm saying?
We are rich. We are rich. We are rich.
Yeah. But yeah, that's the biggest lesson that I learned being down there. That work ethic is needed. Hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard.
Hello, message.
You know what I'm saying? So yes.
All right, so we're in Atlanta, right? So what's the next step for you as a music producer? Are you producing anything for any artists down there? Are you working with any mentors? What's the next step after you're just kind of honing your skills and kind of realizing, all right, this is something that I really want to do?
Well, it was only one artist down there that I actually linked up with. His name was Sism. It's music spelled backwards. Like I said, this is early 2000s, so people had some crazy names. But, he was from Connecticut, lived down there, and we probably did maybe 2 songs together. But as I'm down there, I had some friends that were up here that was doing music, because I went to high school with some guys that had a group and they were rapping and stuff. You know what I'm saying? So I would start to make stuff and send it up here to them and hear how it sounds. So then once he moved back up here, I started working with those guys, but down in Atlanta, not so much. Just one artist that, comes to mind that I work with. But other than that, when I had the opportunity, when it was free time, I'm just working on, getting the beats done.
Just honing your skills, like you said. All right. So tell me, just looking back, you were talking about how your mom just kind of introduced you to that foundation of hip hop, right?
Yeah.
So tell me about your earliest memory of music really speaking to you. Like when you really felt like, all right, this is something I can do.
Really, I would say 2007.
Okay.
Really, yeah.
What's going on in 2007?
In 2007, if y'all don't know, this is my wife. We were partners in crime. We managed the artists.
We did.
And that was the time where I was like, oh, this can really be something.
Shout out G Square Entertainment.
G Square Entertainment. We was getting studio time. We had artists. We had a full project done. We did. Doing those shows here and there. Things kind of spread, went their separate ways and stuff like that, and kind of took a break from that, managing artists and stuff like that. But I always had faith in my production and my sound, and I always had a vision. I was almost like, I felt like an A&R in a way. I knew what sounded good.
Yeah, for sure.
I knew what sounded good. I knew what sounded whack. So that was really for me to know that it can really work. But music's been a part of my life since I can remember. So my mom was pregnant with me, but she worked in a record store.
Serendipitous.
Yeah, I had a cousin who managed Kumo D, Rex and Effects.
Okay, come on.
Teddy Riley. So I was in New York a lot as a kid with my mom. Things that I can remember, not as vivid, but I remember some things. I called them my uncles, Kumo D's background dancers. They my uncles and stuff. So I would go to New York at least twice in the summertime, and we'll be around those things. Funny fact, I got my finger slammed in Teddy Riley's house door
Oh, Teddy Riley, come on.
in Virginia Beach when he lived in Virginia Beach. You know, like
How did you get your finger slammed in Teddy Riley's house door in Virginia Beach?
So
This is random.
I said my cousin managed Rex and Effects, like, and she was house sitting when he was gone. So my mom and we would all go down there to the house, and my little cousins just playing around the house and
Badass kids.
My damn hand
In Teddy Riley's
slammed
house.
in the damn door. You know. Also, I got to see Rump Shaker video before it came out. You know what I'm saying? Back then. So
All I want to do is on my Zoom, with a boom, boom.
Yeah. So
you were a little kid. Wait a minute. Hold on. Wait a minute.
Yeah.
So you were a little kid at Teddy Riley's house
Yeah.
acting a fool, and you were able to get a sneak peek of the Rex and Effects
Like the real joint
video before it came out. This is
with
crazy.
Stamp and everything on it. It wasn't like the real video. It was like the demo version.
Film.
Yeah.
You got it film.
Yeah, I remember that vividly. I do remember seeing that, and because that's the same time I got my finger slammed in the door, so that's traumatizing. You know.
It's traumatizing, but it makes for a good story. I love that.
yeah,
I don't think I've ever heard that story.
Yeah.
And I've known you for 22,
22,
23 years.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've never heard that story myself. So look, thank you. Here we go. That's what these moments are for, right?
Yeah.
So you had Atlanta influence, you had New York influence. Tell me about your style.
My style, I like to say that I'm a combination of Havoc and Ninth Wonder.
Ooh.
That's how
Okay.
I would explain my production style. Two of my biggest influences. I still feel like Infamous is one of the best produced albums of all time. Like I love that album. And I can't wait to hear the new Mobb Deep album too, you know. But Havoc, Ninth Wonder is my style. Soulful, gritty, just nostalgic New York 90s, you know, what I
Yes,
actually,
absolutely.
grew up listening to.
Yeah.
You know, and it's coming back around. You know, and you can hear a lot of that influence in the albums that I've produced, you know, recently, in the past 2 years, actually. Yeah, so, yeah, for sure.
So you mentioned Soulful, right? Your production is very sample heavy. So tell me how you got started with sampling, because I'm thinking Kanye West, right?
Right.
When I think of you with the samples, you're able to kind of bridge that old school soulful sample feel with just exactly what you said, 90s hardcore hip hop grit. So how were you able to kind of like merge that to create your signature style?
It's just all about picking the right samples. For me, I try to let my ear do a lot of it. I listen to, when I go digging for samples, I like to go for stuff that is not necessarily picked or been used before. You know, a lot of people like to use a lot of the 70s soul and stuff like that. Me, I'm kind of like to venture into overseas stuff. You know, European jazz, Japanese jazz, you know, Korean stuff like that. They got soul.
Japanese jazz. If
soul.
you are not onto Japanese jazz, do yourself a favor and get on to Japanese jazz.
Yeah.
They are soulful.
Yeah, soulful. Yeah, for
You'll
sure.
definitely like
and
it.
sometimes I can't even, you know, it pops up on when I'm, you know, digging that, and I can't even read it. It's all in Japanese letters. So, but
Let me click on this one and see what we got going. Let me see if I can cook.
Yeah. So, you know, a lot of saxophones. I love the saxophones. I love strings. And I love chord progressions.
Yes.
That's where I actually kind of look for a lot of chord progressions in the stuff that I sample, because like I said before, I like to arrange my stuff and compose it in a way to where you can differentiate where the hook is and where the verse is. You know, some songs, you know, like Ninth Wonder, I seen them say, don't overthink the loop. Sometimes you got to loop, just loop it.
Just loop it, go with it.
Don't overthink it. But you know, I like to I want to give my beats texture and body, so that the artist also can display, you know, their style on there too. You know, so I'm just really, you know, giving the soundscape or the backdrop for the artist to do their thing. You know, so yeah.
For sure. You mentioned Jay Dilla, right? So we definitely know that that is someone who inspires you.
Yeah.
Is there anyone else that you can think of that inspires you as a producer, right? But then that may also kind of inspire your style of music or influence your style of music?
Well, Ninth Wonder for one. I can give you my top five right now.
I mean, go ahead. You want to do your top five? Top five
I
what?
my top five producers.
Top five
My
producers?
Top five producers. Dilla 1, DJ Premier 2, Ninth Wonder 3, Alchemist 4, and Q-Tip 5. Yeah.
Woof.
Yeah, Q-Tip is one of the most underrated producers to me. People don't understand. Like I said, Infamous is one of the best produced albums to me, and Q-Tip had his hands in that and in Illmatic and the Midnight Marauders things. So a lot of that stuff influenced me. Yeah.
You just named 5 heavy hitters in the industry, and these are all veterans.
Yeah,
As a matter of fact.
Yeah.
So why? Why their style?
It feels good.
Absolutely.
It feels good. Like I said, as far as the arrangement goes, it's not just they give you range as far as the production. They don't just stick to one thing. Premier has done stuff for Christina Aguilera. Ninth Wonder's done stuff for Destiny's Child and Mary J. Blige, not just Little Brother or Jay-Z. So I like to listen to producers who have range, and I that's something that I've been working on myself, is getting more range and more well-rounded in my production.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's really it.
So you say it feels good. Their music feels good. I think that that's something that I feel when I hear your production is so soulful, is so just deep, but it feels good. And even you can put the most gritty rapper on the track and it still feels so good.
Yeah, sure.
Just and you're able to blend that just so well. So if you don't know, Nick has many albums out, and all of them, especially your instrumental ones. Let's talk about that. We have a Blues for Nina.
That was inspired by one of my favorite movies of all time, which is Love Jones.
Hey, shout out Love Jones.
To the night. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that was influenced by that. I was just like I said, in the Japanese jazz, European jazz whole, going through a bunch of music, and I'm like, yo, I'm making some stuff here. This sounds, it gives it a hip hop feel and the jazzy feel at the same time, which is like, how I felt like the poetry in that movie was.
Yes.
Slam poetry is a mixture. It's like, it's like a mixture. You know what I'm saying? So, that was what was influenced that made me do that project. So Blues for Nina is on it's on Bandcamp still. I'm thinking about putting it on streaming platforms as well, but that's on Bandcamp right now. You can go check that out on my Bandcamp page.
Come on, shout out your Bandcamp page.
Yeah, it's Bandcamp. Nick G, I believe is Nick G at Bandcamp.
Nick G at Bandcamp.
Nick G Bandcamp. Just go check it. You can find it. You type it in, you find it. Yeah, for sure.
And then you had Pure.
Pure, yes.
Pure was crazy. Yeah. Pure took you back. For me, when I heard Pure, nigga, I was in a fucking chinchilla coat. Yeah. Goddamn. I had one of those long cigarette joints in my hand. Yes, like it just took me to a time where, what they say, when the cocaine was pure. Okay, tell us about Pure, the album.
You hit the nail on the head. It's sophisticated cocaine use in the 70s. That's what I said. That was Pure was, and it starts off with shout out to my man Lukey Cage. He does skits for Big Ghost LTD's albums, and he's been on a couple Conway projects. He did the intro to that Pure for me, and he nailed it. He killed it. And from there, it just takes off with Richard Pryor. I got some crazy skits in there, but everything is pure. The concept behind Pure was also these beats are uncut. It's pure. A lot of the beats didn't have drums on them.
Oh wow!
I just had a lot of soulful samples that I found that could carry its own weight. When I'm doing instrumental albums or production albums, I don't try to get too intricate with it. It's straight to the point. So that's when I kind of utilize a lot of loops during that time. With that. But Pure was, yeah, that's my baby still. Like Pure, that's like, yeah, and you know, she gets the inside scoop because she's there with me when, you
Yes,
know,
I
I'm
hear
cooking these
it.
joints up. You know what I'm saying? So
Yes,
yeah,
I hear
yeah,
production from beginning to end, and I'm
Mhm.
upstairs like,
Yeah,
I mean, it
yeah,
is amazing how you are able to use these samples. And then you talk about like the skits
yeah.
that you have on your albums, which is
Mhm.
something that is prevalent across all of your bodies of work, right?
Yes, yes,
And so when I think of your bodies of work, I always say it's very cinematic,
yes.
right? I think that you would be amazing at scores
Yeah.
because, I mean, you're able to paint a picture. I think about DMX, right?
Mhm.
I think about Biggie, rappers like that who are able to paint a picture from the time we woke up at 6
Mhm.
a.m. and take us all the way through the day. And we
Yeah.
felt exactly what they were saying. We were right there with them in New York. We could feel it. We could see it.
Mhm.
And that's how I feel your albums and your production. I can feel it. I can see the progression. It starts off here
Yeah.
and we're going to climax and bring that motherfucker
Yeah.
right on
Yeah.
back down.
You know, we come from the era of bodies of work.
Yes,
You know,
bodies of work.
we come from albums, listening to albums. I don't think albums are being made like that anymore, to where you can listen to it from beginning to end. Now everything is streaming, playlists. Let me just take this song I like and let's throw it on here. Let's do that. Like nobody's
Microwave.
actually
Yeah.
really listening to full projects. So that's my niche or
Mm-hmm.
my nest, as they say. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Nick Ness.
I want to give you a full experience from beginning to end. Like you're gonna hear the intro, you're gonna hear the conclusion. In between that, it's gonna be a climax, and we're gonna bring you back down. You know what I'm saying? So I tend to produce and approach my projects like I'm writing an essay. You know,
Okay.
yeah, you know,
Okay.
I pay attention a little bit in English class. You know what I'm saying? You know,
Come on with your intro.
yeah, you got the intro, you got the conclusion, then you got the middle. You know what I'm saying? So,
Your
you know,
body.
yeah. So, yeah, that's something that I make sure that you know that it's a Nick G production or a Nick G project.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to get a experience. It's going to be like cinematic. It's going to be very cinematic.
I
For
agree.
sure.
I agree.
For sure.
Is that your formula that you use for all of your projects?
Yes, yes. You know, and we talked about Pure, and Pure is what spawned Superfly.
Yes. Superfly.
Yeah, you know,
1 and 2, right?
one Pure was Superfly one. You know, I had put that out, and the homie Andrew Jackson heard Pure, and also because sometimes when I make these instrumental albums, it's like, yo, artists, if you like the instrumental album, record to it.
Right.
You know,
Right.
You got free reign. Go ahead and record to it. So I sent it to him, and he started sending me joints back. He's like, "Yo, this joint super fly. This is like, you know, just give me that feel." I'm like, "Yo, that's perfect." You know, so that's pretty much the foundation of Superfly was Pure.
Was
You
a
know,
pure
was a
instrumental
pure
album.
Yeah, yeah.
Nice.
So, and from there, that's, you know, instead of using the skits and the things I use on Pure, I went in and watched Superfly over and over again and found some things in there that I wanted to use in that project to kind of build that and give it the body that, you know, that it needed, you know, because things wasn't arranged the same way and nothing like that. So things would, you know, moved around a lot in Superfly. So I was like, let me find things to kind of transition these things, and I didn't want to use skits that people always use. Superfly is,
Yeah, the most obvious skits, right?
exactly,
Yeah.
yeah. So yeah, that was it, you know. So yeah.
So you mentioned working with Andrew Jackson, right? Tell me a little bit about your collaboration with artists here in the DMV, and with you have some big name artists that you have features on your songs. So
for sure.
so let's talk about how you're able to collaborate with the artists that you have so far.
You know, Andrew Jackson was the first artist that I collaborated with, that we kind of like zoned in and said, yo, we gonna do a project. You know, I also take that template from Alchemist. Like I said, Alchemist is in my top 5. You know,
Shout out Alchemist.
So I love the one producer, one artist template. You know, so it works because you don't have it's cohesive. You know, so I wanted to make a cohesive body of work for my first project. Linking up with Andrew Jackson was my first artist that I collaborated with. Superfly came out August of 2024. But yeah, from there, you know, I just like got the adrenaline going. It's like, yo, man, I'm ready to do another one, you know. And at that time, in between that, we had a studio session, and I met so many other artists. I met my man KT, Parabellum Raps. My son Amani. Our son, he broke out. What I'm saying, he broke out and kind of got in the mix, and he's a part of that community now. He's making great music. Tears Naboo. There's a lot of artists that I met during that session that's fire, and it allows me to have relationships with them to want to do other projects with them as well. But Superfly, my first baby, that I produced fully, and I think in December of 2024, maybe 3 or 4 months later after the first Superfly drop, we dropped Superfly 2.
So those creative juices was flowing.
We're going, yeah. And it came to me, it's like, Andrew Jackson told me about Superfly TNT. I didn't know it was more than one Superfly, movie. So that also was inspiring because, oh man, I don't have to go back and dig through the first Superfly to find the skits I need, because I use all the ones that nobody used.
Yeah, exactly. Can't recycle them.
Yeah, can't recycle them. So TNT was like, representation of drums. The first Superfly was a lot of like drumless tracks. I maybe had 3 or 4 tracks on it that had drum loops on them, or drum beats on it that gave it a little bit more body. But Superfly 2, man, we crushed it with that. I was able to reach out, and I got a feature from Big Twins Gambino.
Come on, Gambino.
Infamous Mob. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Twins. And we got El Camino from Griselda, BSF on there as well. And you made a star appearance as well.
I made a little cameo. Cameo.
So yeah, that was that right there. That kind of, I think that was what made people take notice to Nick G's production during that. And I feel like it's influenced a lot of other producers out here to like make that sound or go that direction. So yeah, that's that. Got those features, Superfly 1, Superfly 2, and so we're going into some more albums. You want me to go down the catalog?
Yeah, I want to go. We did Blues for Nina, Pure, Superfly 1 and 2. So let's go down. What are we on?
So
the shooting
8 hours.
8 hours.
8 hours. 8 hours. I teamed up with the homie Judah. And this is the session that I was talking about where I met, all the other artists from local artists. And we had an 8-hour session. We locked down the studio. Well, me and Judah first came together with the idea. He hit me up and it was like, yo, let's do a project. Let's do a production project, joint. You do 5, I do 5, and let's see what we can do. So we put together 5 beats and we sent the beats out. We got artists interested in that. We sent the beats out. They came to the studio. We locked it down for 8 hours, and we got busy. In 8
hours in one day, you guys were able to lay down a whole album.
11 to 7, we went through 10 tracks.
Nice.
10 tracks continuously. We did pretty much, the template was a beat every hour. Some beats, more people were on versus the other ones. So we was able to get through all 10 in 8 hours because, we didn't have, same amount of people on every single song. But that came out March of 2025. That's on all streaming platforms as well. Shout out to Judah. You know what I'm saying? Thank you for the experience. And thank you for, giving me the opportunity to link up and let's, they able to meet a lot of artists during that time. You know what I'm saying? So I salute you for that, brother. Appreciate you. Also, just dropped Shooting the Driver, August 15th. My man SK the KID. Man, this is my dog. Like this, I think I found my ace in the hole, as everybody say. You know what I'm saying? Like he fits the 90s feel of everything I'm doing too. Andrew Jackson does too, but it's a little different with SK, where it's like G Unit. Like I would say that's not too much 90s, but he takes it back because G Unit, Lloyd Banks, The Game type of vibe. Jadakiss, like he's a pure spitter. Like, and this album was tremendous to me. This is was
lyrically just gritty, just 90s hip. Even though you said G Unit, I definitely agree. But that just really, the Shooter and the Driver was so nostalgic of 90s New York hip hop, straight from the Bronx.
Yeah,
That's what I want to say.
sure, for sure.
It felt good. So I was able to hear the album before, they laid down the tracks. But once you guys put the lyrics to it, it took on an entirely different feel. So before we get into that, I want to back up a little bit to 8 Hours. This almost seems reminiscent of like a writer's camp, right?
Yeah.
Where you guys go in, you lock in, you have your producers, you have your musicians, you have your artists. What is the biggest takeaway from that session? Because that was your first time doing something like that,
Yeah,
right?
that was my first time doing something like that. Yes. The biggest takeaway from that was it's a lot of creative people out here.
Yes. Shout out to the DMV.
A lot of creative artists out here that aren't afraid of that spotlight neither. Because I'm saying we had like 20, 25 artists in one studio. And everybody was in there working together, and nobody, there was some people in there that was just like, I'm gonna play the background a little bit, but once the juices got flowing and they started hearing other people, it was like, oh nah, he fire.
Yeah.
Let me get on that joint with him. Or they was making each other step their game up, which is something that I know is not done a lot more, not a lot in the industry now, like it was back then, where you had posse cuts where you had to be in the studio with the other artists to do the song. Now you can record and send them your verse, and they record that and send it back. You know what I'm saying? So that was a great experience. That was really a great experience, great takeaway. And got an announcement coming up with that too. Y'all gotta stay tuned for that.
Ooh.
But about to run that back. So yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
So we're talking about the shooter and the driver, right?
Yeah.
We're talking about how you're able to blend that nostalgic sound with your soulful sound, and that you found your person, right?
Yeah.
So how did the shooter and the driver come about?
Well, this shooter and the driver album has been in the works since I want to say 2021.
Oh wow! Wow.
Yeah. I took a break from the production about 8 years. And once my son kind of started to show interest in it, I kind of got back into the groove of things, and I was like, yo, I'm making some stuff that's fire. So the first person I was sending it to was SK. So he was sending me joints back and it's like, yo, this joint fire. But SK is his own biggest critic, and because he records himself, and I know artists out here that record themselves, it ain't quite right. It ain't right, gotta change this, change that. So we said, let's do a 7-song EP. Start off, with 7 songs, and we had 6 out of 7 done. And then we just hit a wall. And during that time, that's when I started to do the Superflies and stuff like that. Once, the Superfly 2 came out at 8 Hours, because he came to the 8 Hour session too. He was like one of the biggest standouts there as well.
Oh, nice.
So when he came after that, he was like, yo, we gotta get back in the mix, I started messing with more sounds and more stuff and sending him stuff, and he was like, yo, this is crazy. So he started sending me other joints back. I'm like, yo, let's start from the scratch again, So, but the difference with doing the shooter and the driver was we didn't have no concept. It was nothing to pull from, like the Superflies were. Like I had Superfly movies to get skits from and get an idea of the feel of the album. Every song he sent me back, my man was shooting on every song. You know what I'm saying? ACP hold 10. You know what I'm saying? He got a whole bunch of but it's like, yo, he's shooting at the competition, and he's shooting his gun on, everything. He come from, a rough neighborhood. So, I try to take that and embrace that. And like, you know what, man? I came with the title first. Let's do this and this. Like this, like a team. We're a team. You know what I'm saying? Type of thing. I was like, what can we come up with? And I was like, man, shooting the driver, bro. He's like, I like that. So we was trying to figure out with that, having that as the idea. It's like, yo, the concept came to me. It's like, okay, I'm the driver, you're the shooter. I'm driving, and comparing that to the production. The production is driving the album.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And also the driver is most important for the shooter, because the driver got to pull up in the right places for the shooter to get his shot off. So it was like, yo, this that's perfect. Like it sounds good. And from there, the hardest part with that was adding my nests, the clips, the skits.
Yes.
That was the most difficult part to do. But got it done, and the shit is phenomenal.
Agreed.
It's phenomenal.
Agreed.
Everything hits perfect. And SK is a great artist to work with because we both want the same thing and we see the same vision.
Like-minded, yeah.
So he would send me stuff and like, yo, this makes sense. Every single skit on there doesn't have to necessarily do with shooting and driving. There's some things. Some of the skits might be representation of how he feel or how that song is going to feel when it comes on. We got Charleston White on there with a skit that's crazy, but it makes sense to the intro to the song that is on. So yeah, this album took a little bit more work and more creativity to get done, and once we figured that out and got it right, man, this is one of the ones. Like this to me, this album can stand up there with everything that dropped this year.
I definitely agree. And I'm not being biased. I know we were out somewhere not too long ago, and someone was saying that they were listening to The Shooter and the Driver, and that they're just listening to it in a car and totally forgot that it was a Nick G production. Because they felt like just what you said, that it could stand up against any album of this time. Now, you mentioned you guys didn't have a concept with that. So this album seemed like it was more organic. It seemed like it just kind of flowed with the two of you, right?
Yeah.
So would you prefer, or not would you prefer, how was that different from you actually having a concept? Like, walk me through that creative process. Was it more difficult? Do you prefer to try to start a little more organically, or do you like having a theme?
It's give or take, this one was just, it was difficult, but now that I got through it, I know I can do it again.
That's what I'm talking about.
It's no problem. Once I take the training wheels off, I'm good. You know what I'm saying? So the next thing that I feel like will be a challenge, is actually sitting down and cooking up from scratch with the artist next to me. And doing that, that's something
real-time collaboration.
That's something I really want to get into, because right now I'm making joints and I might send it to somebody and they let me know if they like it or not. Or if I make something, I'm like, yo, I can hear you on this, I'll send it. But I want to sit there and I want to build with the artist and make that more homegrown, and like you said, like building up from scratch. That's something that's my next challenge. But to answer your question, I'm good with this now. I can conceptualize anything. Once I hear it a few times, a little inside Shooting the Driver 2 is in the works as well.
Okay.
Yeah. So,
okay.
we building from that. We building up from that too. And I mean, sometimes what I'm finding the difficulty with part 2 is a little bit like finding more skits, because I feel like it's like, damn, I found these skits for this joint. It was perfect. Nah, damn, I gotta.
You gotta go in the vault. You gotta go in the vault, and you gotta find some. You gotta hit up just like you did your Japanese jazz. You gotta go in that vault and find some more that work with the theme. Exactly. No, but Shooter and the Driver 1, phenomenal. Just big ups to you and to SK. What did he say? I hope my driver wasn't too wild for you and my dog had perfect aim. You know what I mean? So I listened to the album. You know what I mean? I listened to the album. It's available on all streaming platforms. Make sure you guys go download that.
For sure. Appreciate it. Yeah.
Absolutely. I want to say, I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
It's 2025. You brought us in from 2001. So we're talking about over 2 decades worth of life lessons, worth of self-taught music production, worth of collaboration. What is your biggest accomplishment so far?
My biggest accomplishment is just putting it out. Just
absolutely
getting my music out. That's like that was the how I'm gonna do this, how I'm gonna figure it out. Once I've put it out. You know what I'm saying? Who's gonna get it's gonna get it. Who's not gonna get it is not gonna get it.
For sure. For sure.
You know what I'm saying? I can't keep sitting here with the art. That's also what I've been doing now as far as my production. I don't like to just make beats and sit on the beats and have the beats just sitting in the folder and it getting stale. I want to make I want my production to have a home to go to. So I'll make something and I'll send it to somebody. If they don't like it, boom. Or if it's not their vibe right now, boom. I got I got other artists I could send it to. And that's also the thing that's like, yo, meeting these other artists at this 8 hours is like, I got a plethora of artists that I can send music to
Yeah.
that like the Nick G production that will kill it. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So yeah, that's my biggest accomplishment is just being able to put the music out and sitting on and not sitting on the music. Because, you know, early on in the, you know, it's a lot of stuff that we didn't really get to, you know what I'm saying? But early in the 2007s, 8s and stuff like that, it was a big DMV scene here. You know, shout out to the Interloop Records, the High Definition Society, who I was producing for. It was almost like I was kind of like in a box, was still trying to learn things. So my production wasn't getting out there. And also I feel like the artist wasn't really showcasing or my production as well. So that's another thing. Big accomplishment, I would say, is me doing it myself.
Yes, absolutely.
Nick G is a brand. Nick G is the producer. It's like I'm not under anybody. I'm not, you know, somebody is not showcasing my stuff for me. I'm putting my stuff out there.
Independent.
You know? Yeah. So that's it. That's it. You know, just doing it myself. You know.
From that 2007, 2009 era, is there anything specifically that you want to touch on? Anything that you feel like was very integral in your makings of your career?
Yeah. You know, shout out to Laylo. Laylo introduced me to a couple people. I got to meet Smoke DZA. We went up to New York. Smoke DZA, shot a video with him. Anytime they came on a Smokers Club tour to the area, we were able to.
He took Smoke DZA to City Place. He took Smoke DZA to City Place before a show. I got a story about Smoke
DZA, but you know, I don't want to, you know, spill it, you know, put it out there without his approval. But yeah, like he would come to the area, and we going down to Georgetown to the rugby shop. He loved Ralph Lauren polo, like, so we down in Georgetown at the rugby and the polo store and stuff like that, just riding around with him. But during that time, I got my first major feature that I felt like was a big accomplishment. Was Tabby Bonet was on a song that I produced,
absolutely
for Laylo on the what was it, Life in High Definition, I believe that was the name of the album. Yeah, so yeah, and you know, and you know, just also to say that to jumpstart me jumping back into the production in 2021, 2022, I had another big feature that I didn't mention was Simba. Shiesty, my man Kingpin Slim put out an album called If God Could Rap, and we had the lead single off of that, which was featuring Simba, which is, you know, if you don't know who Simba is, you gotta do your research. Simba is that dog, is the dude, yo, from the Bay Area, young cat can spit. So yeah, that was like, that kind of like, that right there let me know, oh, Nick, you got something.
Yeah, for sure.
You got something. So yeah, for sure.
So we started out with Kumo D.
Yeah.
Teddy Riley, right? Yeah. We have Simba. Mm-hmm. We have El Camino. Mm-hmm. We have Gambino.
The twins, yes.
We have a DMV artist. We definitely have more in store. Mm-hmm. Who are some artists that you would love to work with? They could be local or not, right. But that you would love to work with.
Jadakiss.
Kiss.
Right, Jadakiss, Scarface.
Oof.
Conway.
Yes.
That's just like the top three right there. Currency, Larry June, Freddie Gibbs. That's like my top 6, like, of artists that I'm like, yo, I want to rock with y'all. And I'm tapping into my R&B bag a little bit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm looking at Lucky Day. I'm looking at Raheem DeVaughn, Summer Walker. You know what I'm saying? That type of vibe there. So yeah, that, you know, that's
for sure.
Trying to broaden my, you know, my horizons and my range. You know what I'm saying? For real. Yeah.
Well-rounded, not just rap.
Right.
Not just
I'm a producer, not a beat maker. I'm a beat maker, but I'm a producer at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? It's a difference to me. You know, beat makers just go up here and just make beats and they'll have no place, you know, no idea what they want to do with it. But a producer, I'm overseeing everything from beginning, and I have the vision. I know what I want my artist to do on this track. I know what sounds good, and I'm gonna be there from beginning to end to make sure it sounds good and put together right.
You're a curator.
Yeah, curator.
He's a curator. He's a creative. He's a curator.
And my curation influence, I'm gonna keep it a buck. West Side Gun I'm a heavy Griselda fan. You know what I'm saying? But I love the way West Side Gun curates projects, and I kind of took his template, or took his ideas, and kind of try to make it my own. You know what I'm saying? So
For sure.
yeah, for sure.
All right.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
So I want to do a little this or that with
Okay,
you.
let's go.
You know, I know you don't know anything that I have written down, but I thought that it would be interesting because you do have a lot of people that inspire you in this industry. You do have a lot of people that you've worked with and those that you want to work with, and your range goes back to Rex and Effects and all the things. So I want to do a little this or that, and it could be in whatever capacity that you see fit.
Okay.
Right?
That's right.
All right, let's do it. All right, this or that. Ghostface or Rakim?
Ghostface.
Oh, that was real quick.
Ghostface my favorite rapper all the time.
Pretty Tony. Come on, Pretty Tony. Tap in.
Yeah.
Tap in.
Yeah.
All right, let's do it. Alchemist or Madlib?
Ooh. Yeah, Alchemist.
I was wondering.
Alchemist.
I was wondering you were going to go with that one. All right. Ninth Wonder or Jay Dilla?
That's a tough one. I might go with Dilla. I think Dilla is the best at picking samples and chopping samples and manipulating the samples. Dilla and Q-Tip are two best in manipulating samples.
Nice. Derringer or DJ Muggs?
Derringer.
Okay. Timberland or Neptunes?
Ooh.
This is Neptunes, not for real.
Ooh. I'm gonna go with Neptunes.
You gonna go with
I'm gonna go with
Neptunes?
Neptunes. And it goes back to me.
Because he's at Teddy Riley's house. That's why.
Yeah. But when I just mentioned producer and beat maker, I feel like Timberland might be the best beat maker in the world. Him and Swiss Beats. But when it comes to production and the arrangement and range, I gotta give it to Neptunes.
That's right. Shout out Pharrell and Chad.
Yeah.
Let's do it. All right. So now we're going to do a little rapid fire. Okay. So just tell me the first thing that comes to mind when I mention these individuals.
All right.
You ready? It's just going to be a few.
Okay.
Missy Elliott.
Innovative.
Oh, yeah. Quincy Jones.
The GOAT.
Erykah Badu.
That's a tough one. Shoot. Nostalgic. Nostalgic, yeah.
Nice. Kanye West.
Crazy.
Got you. All right. RZA.
Ooh. I would say a leader of men.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's leader of men.
Okay. Dr. Dre.
Perfectionist.
Word up.
Yeah.
For sure. That was a good job.
Okay.
So tell me what's next for Nick G, the producer.
What's next for Nick G is got a couple projects I'm working on right now, or in the works with. As I mentioned, Shooting Driver 2 is in the works. Just recently been working on joints for part 3 of Superfly. Also, I got an album that I'm trying to work on with Parabellum Raps is an artist that a local artist from here, and I've been waiting to executive produce some stuff. You know what I'm saying? I have some things lined up with my man KT. We supposed to link up and try to put a project together with him. So
shout out KT.
Yeah, KT
Firehouse. Yes.
Yeah.
KT is a rapper and a fire videographer.
Yeah, fire. Yeah. So in those pictures you see on the gram of me or whatever, KT behind the lens.
Okay.
Sure.
Shout out KT. Make sure y'all follow KT Firehouse.
Videos, everything. KT is been spearheading the rollouts and the way the Nick G brand has been being displayed. So I appreciate the brother for that, for sure.
There it is. Yeah. All right.
Also, I want to give a special thank you to you.
Oh, thank you.
I want to tell you how much I appreciate you, and I thank you for being patient and just being there, being a support system and having my back, and just believing in me. You know what I'm saying?
Always,
I appreciate it.
since they were listening. I'm like, Gina, singing in the background. Yeah. I'm here for whatever it is you need. Right. I'm going to hold it down for sure. But I mean, we've been together over 20 years. Mm-hmm. We've been married 19 years. 19 years, yes. But I've watched you from the very beginning, just when that spark came. Yeah. You know what I mean? When that spark ignited in you, and just to see how you have been able to execute.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Because we all have vision. You know what I mean? As creatives, we all have that vision. But execution, what was it? Phil, the Lakers coach?
Yeah.
He said that's what separated the Lakers from other basketball teams was execution. So, Phil Jackson. Yeah. So to all of you creators out there like myself who are holding things close to the chest, release it. Mm-hmm. Release it, let it out, execute. And you'll be surprised to see how the universe opens up for you and just how things fall in line. Yeah. So thank you so much for taking the time out to talk with me today and go through my rapid fires and this or that.
Appreciate it.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. So till next time, folks.
Tune in to Miss October TV, y'all.
Miss October TV.
Yep.
Peace.